How do you know when a pool or pool water needs more chlorine? And the shortest possible answer to that is you need to test the water. Nobody can tell by looking at it whether you have enough chlorine or not. And so there's a couple of different ways you can test water. And the easiest one is a test strip. You dunk a test strip. It's fast, it's easy, it's not super accurate. And so it's kind of you're giving up a little bit of that accuracy in terms of that fast and easiness. The next step up would be the little droppers, which are red and yellow, look like food coloring droppers. That's actually a really common and very adequate way to test your swimming pool water, highly reliable. And so you could buy a test kit from like Taylor Technologies, for example, which is kind of like an industry leader for test kits like that. And then further to this, you could also take a water sample and go to a local pool and spa store, and very likely they offer free water testing for you. And so then they can test the water and tell you, oh, yeah, you don't have any chlorine, you need to add some chlorine. And so that's the primary way that you know you need to add chlorine. In terms of symptomatically, how do you know just by looking at the pool you need chlorine? If the pool water is green, you probably need chlorine. If the pool water is cloudy or murky or turbid, you probably need chlorine. If it's even just dull or listless or fails to sparkle like it used to, you probably need more chlorine. It's not the silver bullet. Don't just go and add it to your pool because I've told you it fixes all the problems. It just so happens that it fixes most of the problems, but there are other things happening here. Like you could have a situation where you have a high cyanuric acid level as a result of using chlorine pucks. So, Red Star here, do you use chlorine pucks? If you do, are you aware that as your cyanuric acid level climbs, which is something that's included in those pucks, eventually your chlorine is not really going to be able to do its job anymore. So even though you could test the water and you have a little bit of chlorine on the test strip, you can see it. It might not be enough because that cyanuric acid level might be too high and it's preventing the chlorine from actually killing that algae that you see growing in the water. So, this is why a more detailed water analysis is your friend here. The more you know about what's going on, the more you can take appropriate action to fix the problem. It just so happens most of those problems are going to be chlorine related, either with the amount that you need to add or something else that you need to change or adjust so that the chlorine can do the job it's supposed to do. Like, for example, pH. You know that one. That's one of the ones we have to test. Well, the pH matters to the extent that you want the water to be comfortable for you, but chlorine is less effective at different pH values, and it happens to be very effective at low pHs. It's actually kind of barely effective for swimming pool water because once you get to the upper range, like 7.2 to 7.8 is the range that we're looking for pH for pool water. By the time you get to a pH of 8.0 and 8.2 or higher, the chlorine is largely not able to do its job properly. And so you can end up with a situation where you have green water, you test the water, there's a small amount of chlorine, you're like, I don't know what the problem is. It says I have chlorine. Yeah, but is your pH crazy high right now? If your pH is crazy high, the chlorine's not going to be doing its thing. So we got to take a look at the cyanuric acid. We got to take a look at the pH. We got to take a look at the total package here. Get a full water analysis write up done. Usually the people at the pool and spa stores are pretty helpful. I know there's kind of a stereotype that they oversell you stuff you don't need, and maybe that's true, maybe that's not. The reality is that you don't need to buy anything from them. They'll give you the water test for free, and that's all I'm telling you to do is arm yourself with information. Go get yourself a free water test. Let's take a look at what's going on in the water. Probably you don't have enough chlorine, or there's one of these other compounding factors affecting that your chlorine and its ability to do its job. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.